Hello everyone, it's me, One Gamer 54 back in the video, and today, finally, we are back. We're gonna finally tackle, we're gonna finally continue with the cross-channel promotion. I know, it's been a while since I've last done this, been a little bit busy with the map pet appreciation run, but we're gonna come back to it this now, okay? We're gonna come back to it right now. So, we're gonna be talking about the new kid. So, without further ado, let's do this. Also, if you guys have not read about the new kid, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, the second channel is right over there, guys. All right, you can just I've already done a read through of the new kid in my second channel. That's where I'll be doing all my read throughs of Tales from the Pizzaplex, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie novel, as well as Fazbear Frights. And we might also do some other topics over there instead of FNAF, like Bendy or you know, I guess even Hello Neighbor, if you guys are interested in that. But anyways, let's do it. So let's do this. So what is the new kid? Well, new kid goes something like this. Devon is our protagonist, and he is a lonely ninth grader whose father abused him and abandoned his family when he was 3, and whose mother doesn't make much money. He writes a story about the siblings of his crush, Heather, getting brutally murdered by a serial bouncy house to get her attention. And if it gets him in trouble, he had based the story off of the numerous times he stalked her. After school, he meets up with his lonely friend Mick, who has a learning disorder. Mike doesn't approve of the story and tries to tell Devon that Heather didn't either. The two head into an abandoned gas station that they use as their clubhouse, only to find that it has been demolished. Devon promised a distraught Mick that he will find a new spot. The next day, Mick introduced Devon to Kelsey, a new kid who has quickly become very popular in his good looks and personality. Mick invites him to sit at lunch with him, joining the duo much to Devon's shock. Devon was also shocked of how genuine Kelsey is, and begins to feel like he's fitting in. Later, he overhears Heather talking about wanting to make movies, and he insert himself in the conversation. Heather flicks a finger at him and winks away, but Devon only cares that he touched him, and Mick begins to worry about him. Kelsey joins them for lunch again and starts to get on Devon's nerves, so he doesn't like how perfect he is. Mick tells Kelsey about the destroyed clubhouse, and Kelsey promised the parent he will let them use the workshop as the farmhouse his parents purchased for their hangout. The next day, in their social studies class, the topic of justice is discussed. Kelsey explains that justice is something that removes the downs and it doesn't weigh on tops. Sorry. Heather, who Mike doesn't get hyped for, views justice as payback, and when asked if payback goes too far, simply says that accident happens. Only Mick and Kelsey didn't find the joke funny. After school, Devon and Mike meet up with Kelsey and his neighbor, George, who offers to drive them to get supplies. Suddenly, Heather and her friends appear, and she tries to talk to Kelsey into letting them come along too. George offers to make 2 trips, and Kelsey is put in an awkward spot as Heather's friends fill up the truck, leaving Devon and Mick behind. Despite promising to come back, Devon believes that they're being abandoned and he storms off. The next day, Mick goes to meet with Devon for a hike and is surprised and a little alarmed that Devon's sulkiness is gone. Although his obsession with Heather is still around, Devon reveals he found a new clubhouse and they visit it Monday after school. Mick is excited, but the excitement is killed when he watches Devon kill a bird with a stone and act completely normal about it. On Monday, Kelsey apologizes about this awkward situation and Devon acts overly friendly, freaking both Kelsey and Mick out. Mick also spots a bandage on Devon's hand. After school, the trio heads off, going to the dense parts of the woods. On the way, Kelsey says he one day wants to be a real judge, and Devon ignores it. Eventually, he reaches an abandoned Freddy Fazbear pizzeria. After exploring around, Devon leads them to the storage room where they find an old golden Freddy springlock suit. Devon encourages Kelsey to put it on as Mick goes to grab some parts, which he does. When Mick returns, Kelsey starts dancing, which triggers the spring locks, screwing Kelsey. After coming to his memorizing state, Devon confessed that he found the suit before and tried it on, accidentally triggered it in his hand, and came up with a plan to trap Kelsey as payback. The suit twitches and Mick thinks Kelsey is alive, but Devon and Mick swears not to tell anyone. When the duo leave Kelsey for dead, as they leave, Kelsey Heather's accident happened joke replays over and over in Devon's head. So yeah, you can already tell that Devon is literally the worst character. He is the worst main protagonist. Like, god dang kid, I would smack you upside the head. And I don't know, people are still trying to judge either Devon from the new kid is worse than Matt from In the Flesh. Anyways, when Devon and Mick split up to go home, he tells Mick that they're in together. Mike repeats these words for the rest of the way home, concerning Devon. The next day, Mick stays incredibly silent until lunch when he tries talking to Devon about what happened. Devon tells him to wait, so later the day, they go onto the forest. Mick questions if Kelsey has somehow survived, and while the same question has haunted Devon and he dismisses it, the rest of the week goes by and Kelsey is concluded to have run away by the police. Devon goes to visit Mick, and Mick tries to come up with a way for help for Kelsey to survive, pointing out that there were water bottles in the kitchen. Devon agrees to go and check, telling Mick to cover for him as they in this together. Devon himself doesn't believe that Kelsey survived, but he's been having terrible nightmares since Tuesday, so he's packed a bag of materials and goes back to the pizzeria. He finds the suit, but Kelsey isn't in it, so he pries the mouth open and looks inside. Devon thinks he sees something and tries reaching for it, but he hears his name being called, and the mouth clammed down and locked his arm. He pukes and tries to escape it, but it doesn't work. The mouth loosened, but his arm's just so sucked in more. And when Devon looks, he sees the corpse of a curly black hair inside instead of Kelsey's blonde hair. A second later, his shoulder was sucked into the suit. Mick is disappointed to see that Devon isn't back when class continues Monday morning. Remembering that Devon had said it may take him a while to help Kelsey recover, Mick continues to cover for Devon. He remembers he said that they were in together as long as it takes. Elsewhere, Kelsey, alive and well, greets all the students walking into his new school. His attention, however, is in a couple boys lingering outside, snickering at a few of the kids that ignore them or give them glances. After the bell rings, Kelsey introduces himself as the new kid, and if they know any cool place around here. So, that was the new kid. I will say this does bring a lot of nuance and mystery to Golden Freddy, which I will explain for a minute. What do I think of Devon? I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really care about what happened to him. Honestly, that he deserved it, to be honest. Like, really, he deserved it. I didn't feel any ounce of sadness, like, at all to him. Like, I mean, like, I just genuinely did not feel any, like, sympathy for him. I know that sounds harsh to say, but I just really didn't like Devon not so much. Like, I felt more sorry for Mick than anything else. But what does the story have to say? Well, Devon says the body in the curly black hair in the Golden Freddy suit as he was about to die. Yes, he died, and in the upcoming story that we're about to read, yes, coming soon, in the man room 1280 or 1280, the spirit within the room 1280 patient creates a physical manifestation of themselves to torment the nurse that try to kill him. It had curly black hair and an alligator mask. This detail made fans believe that Kelsey is another manifestation of the spirit, heavily implying to be Andrew from the novels. But there are some evidence that conflict this theory. Kelsey claims to have parents, bleeds when he's inside the Golden Freddy suit, and if he was a physical manifestation of a spirit, he is somehow walking around the outside world. Not to mention, his motives for targeting the bullies are unknown, nor how he came back to life after supposedly dying. So, my best guess is probably Remnant. My best guess? I don't know. It seems that the spirits, it seems like spirits nowadays have been evolved to the usual norm. I guess spirits can now walk around in plain daylight. But I mean, well, with Kelsey claiming he has parents and is able to bleed, and if he indeed is the manifestation of Andrew's spirit, this could mean that Andrew is referring to his parents when he was alive. Whereas for bleeding, it seems to be happening because of the agony or some other supernatural forces, like maybe Remnant, where Andrew is allowed to interact with the real world. Now, I say this story is very much what's happening with, discussions about Golden Freddy. This story supports the very popular belief that Golden Freddy is controlled by more than just one spirit, because we all thought like, okay, well, how is the spirit of Golden Freddy so powerful that it's literally causing glitching effects and blue screens of death? Well, the other animatronics just seem normal. Like, what is the significance of Golden Freddy? The spirit within Golden Freddy. Like, who is Golden Freddy? And we ask this because Golden Freddy has supernatural powers, and he's a lot aggressive than the other animatronics. Like, I don't think. I mean, yes, I know Nightmare also did that, but we're talking physically in the first game. All the animatronics, we got scared. But with Golden Freddy, we got the blue screen of death. But, you know, I mean, it's now common that Golden Freddy is believed to be possessed by a girl named Cassidy, and due to her agony and her rage, her emotions won't allow any more souls to enter the suit, as Cassidy just lets it all to herself in an ex aggression and despair. If this is true, this would mean the kids who probably died in Golden Freddy, with Devon being one example, whose soul would simply move on without hunting an object. Yet there are still some evidence to explain Golden Freddy's aggressions personally. But I'm thinking, you know, something about Crying Child is what's keeping her in, because it is now heavenly believed that Crying Child and Cassidy are the head honchos possessing Golden Freddy. But there might be chances in the future that we're going to see more people possessing Golden Freddy, because in the FNAF movie we saw a kid who's very much not like, who is pretty much not Cassidy, because like I just don't see no girl with no pigtail black hair girl. Instead we got a male. So I'm thinking that could be like the movie version of Crying Child. We're just gonna have to wait and see it for the sequel. But I will say this: it's interesting to say the least that while I don't really like Devon, I really do enjoy this story because it gives us more nuances to Golden Freddy, and I don't think I don't think it's ever been happened. I don't think it ever happened in the books. I'm not sure yet. But in a way, you can argue that technically the story has two antagonists. Kelsey, yes. Well, Kelsey in a way, because, he's the spirit that's inside Golden Freddy. He's probably going around and most definitely going to send more kids to an early grave, Fazbear related, but also Devon as our protagonist, because, come on now. You literally heard me say that this man was okay at the fact that, he'll get attention to his crush by telling a story about how her siblings get brutally murdered by a bouncy house. Yeah, I'm sure that's not going to get you any Valentine's Day gifts anytime soon, buddy. Or, nonchalantly beating a bird with a with a rock. Like, I'm surprised Peter didn't show up and, come handle you. But yeah, I feel like this story has like I will say that this story was a lot more. I feel like this story was a lot more interesting, to say the least. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when reading The New Kid, it felt like it was longer. It felt like it was longer. So I feel like maybe Fazbear. This is the first story that I feel like it was a long read. I'm not sure. I haven't read much yet. I haven't read much yet about the. I'm still reading the last book of Tales from the Pizzaplex. So I feel like this is the longest story I've ever read. Or maybe Tales from the Pizzaplex will have a book. Will have a story that's basically longer than New Kid. But anyways, guys, that's going to be the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like the video so I know you guys enjoy. Comment down below. Okay, like what story do you want me to cover? I know a lot of people want me to cover the new Into the Flesh, so that is unfortunate for me. But subscribe. We're trying to upload daily. This is One Gamer 54, signing off.